Yeah, well, Daryl, you can see the mess here behind me. This is Neron Place right off of South Carrollton, and council members stressed today that they're really tired of getting constant complaints from residents about construction projects like this one.
Yes, and Travers, as you know, more than 150 people had to evacuate yesterday. We met some of them today right as they got to come back home. We are seeing some pretty extensive, severe damage, and I want to show you and tell you first exactly where I am right now. I am at the Big Boss gas station just off Center Street.
Well, that's right. Those recovery efforts here in Kelowna included people from this community, outside this community. Even the St. Charles Parish Sheriff's Office got in it, getting up at 3 a.m. to cook meals for some of these people affected to make sure that they had something to eat. But I'll go ahead and tell you now, the scenes at the Kelowna Volunteer Fire Department earlier today, well, those speak for themselves.
To Louisiana and the recovery efforts after those tornadoes. Eli Brand from our New Orleans affiliate WDSU joins us now. Eli, the destruction, it comes just before Christmas. I wonder how the local residents are coping with what they've lost.
That's right. Well, always a devastating thing to happen, but especially with this timing. But the way they're coping is by coming together. And if you walk with me, I'll show you exactly how they're doing that. We're at the Kelowna Volunteer Fire Department, where there's kind of a makeshift gathering here so people can get things that they need that had damage from those tornadoes. Look at all of this food right here. This was cooked by the St. Charles Parish Sheriff's Office. They made all of this, have been cooking it since 3 a.m. this morning. So people that are in need can come here and get this and walk inside here with me now so you can see even more. We spoke with a volunteer earlier. This stuff that's being donated here, she said they've had as many people donating as are in need. You can see here, there's toys here inside. There's toiletries inside. There's any snacks that they need. They have perishable foods. They have paper towels. They have deodorant, toothbrushes, toothpaste, anything that you need. So that's the way that they're coping with this damage, is by coming together and rallying around one another so that they can make sure that they are all okay. Aaron, Kate.
Really glad to see that. Eli Brand, thank you for being there for us. Appreciate it.
There's good news tonight about the power of friendship and how love and dancing help heal the pain. For the famous Milwaukee dancing grannies, this week's visit to New Orleans was the trip of a lifetime.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Milwaukee dancing grannies!
A chance to perform in one of the city's Mardi Gras parades.
Oh, they were amazing.
But for Jan Kwiatkowski and the rest of the group, it was about so much more.
Jan, what was it like to be in New Orleans for Mardi Gras?
It was the probably absolute most amazing, profound, exciting, life-giving thing that not only myself, but all of us have done.
She says the celebration was also a time of healing. That's because in November 2021, 3 of their members and a dancer's husband were killed, along with 2 other people, during the Waukesha Christmas parade, when a man driving an SUV intentionally plowed through the crowds.
In that senseless, horrible tragedy, it's how do you all as a group go forward?
The reality is you don't heal unless you're healing in community.
Community they found in the New Orleans dance group called the 610 Stompers. They call themselves extraordinary men with extraordinary moves. And they invited the grannies to Mardi Gras as a sign of solidarity.
I cannot begin to tell you how much that means to all of us.
You know, why can't we just come together and try to heal? And
Stompers Chris Seckinger and Brett Patron just knew their city would welcome them with open arms.
I'm going to tell you that right now. They are hard to handle.
But they were so much fun.
The
2 dance groups, now forever friends, with joyful memories they'll never forget.
It was just such a tangible way of saying, you're not alone. That meant a lot. I can't even put into words. I'm going to cry now how much that meant.
Milwaukee dancing grannies just made their big debut in the Big Easy. The Milwaukee Wonky Dance Group, as you see, they're decked out in Mardi Gras colors as they took part in the crew of the Toeth Parade in New Orleans Sunday afternoon. This is all part of annual celebrations. The popular 610 Stompers invited the grannies after hearing about the Waukesha Christmas Parade tragedy in 2021.
It's unbelievable how awesome today is. I'm running out of words for how awesome today is.
It's very special to be with the grannies today. I mean, this day has been built up for how long? And it's finally here. We got beautiful weather. You know, we got beautiful costumes. We got beautiful new family. So this is a fantastic day.
1, 2, 3. Happy Mardi Gras!
What a great day. By the way, the parade wasn't their only appearance. They had a very busy schedule. Earlier in that day, the grannies and the Stompers both performed at a children's hospital in New Orleans.
There will be no stone left unturned until we found out who took him.
L.C. Jefferson says he's devastated at the news that his grandson, 24-year-old Javarius Scott, also known as Jada Youngin, was murdered Wednesday night in his hometown of Bogalusa.
This is only what I hear. Someone came up from behind the house, you know, and with a ski mask on and gunned them down in broad open daylight on a public road, a road that's a busy road. So people have gotten so bold of doing things today because they know or they feel like they won't be caught.
The rapper, well known on social media for his song 23 Island.
New bag, brand new deposit. Brand new deposit.
That song now has more than 17 million streams on Spotify. To his grandfather, he was just a kid trying to make it in music.
I remember when he first started his music. I remember him sitting out here 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, him and his cousin writing music. It's sad that at his young age, just when he was really getting things right the way that they should be, that he had to be taken away.
The family confirms Scott's dad, Kenyatta Scott, was also shot. Police say he's expected to be okay. The news quickly spread, followers showing love online for the slain rapper. Police say they want to find the person responsible and say there's already been a number of shootings in the area since the rapper was killed.
A few minutes later, while my officers are investigating this scene, we had a call of another shooting across town. Later in the night, a few hours later, we had a third shooting where a house was shot up that we also believe to be related.
Police say no one was hurt during the other 2 shootings. A few suspects have been identified, but no motive or suspect yet in the case of Jada Youngin. Family members say they hope the community will pull through for them and help to solve the case. In the meantime, Jefferson says he finds solace in the legacy his grandson leaves behind.
Looking at him and looking at the way he made his music and looking at where he come from, you know, it gives other people hope. And his music gave them hope, you know, but it's gone now.
I think we're looking at a metal pole that looks like from an industrial park.
Glade Bilby thinks they resemble Scud missiles. Back in October, crews tore down dozens of French Quarter streetlights and put these in their place.
What are they for?
They're 5G towers, mainly for Verizon and AT&T customers. The city says crews plan to attach lamps and other add-ons to make the poles fit the neighborhood aesthetic, but supply chain backlogs have halted the work.
I think this happens on a lot of things in the city where they start something and don't finish it for one reason or the other.
Bilby thinks crews should have waited for all supplies to arrive before starting construction. And the outcry isn't just about looks.
Not that bright.
We started our interview with Bob Sims with the camera lights off. We wanted to show just how dark his Dumaine Street block can get at night, even after crews installed a temporary light on the pole.
It's not really doing anything, is it?
He calls the unfinished work a hazard.
See the hole here, easy to fall in there.
And a threat to public safety.
Obviously, from a deterring crime point of view, having it dark is not the best idea.
A city spokesperson tells WDSU that when the pole's lighting components do arrive, they'll be just as bright as the lamps there before. That's assuring news to Sims. But until that happens,
we really need a short-term fix to put more light on the street.
But it's the city of New Orleans that's against its poor people. It's the city of New Orleans that is doing this to its poor people.
Bonita Linton is up in arms about the condition of her street. Stagnant water that started as a puddle, then a pond, now what seems to be a putrid pool on Pogger Street.
We've come outside and found dead rats floating on top of the water, floating, just floating, right down in the sewer. That's why it stinks by my house.
Linton's lived in Pogger for 2 years, but says problems have persisted for more than a decade, affecting her mother, who lived in the neighborhood for 25 years before she passed.
My mother fell in her wheelchair because of that initial big hole right there and laid right there into a car, almost hit her. The car almost rolled her over. They saw the wheelchair but didn't see my mama. And thank God the guy had sense enough to look, because he saw the wheelchair turned over, and he got up and drugged my mama to her house because the wheelchair was too heavy for him to pick up.
While neighbors are swimming through sewage on Pogger, just around the corner on North Roman, the street is sinking.
You could either swim or sink. This is what it is. It is what it is.
According to Roadwork NOLA, the project started June 2021 and was set to be complete by July 2022.
This has been going on for too long. Too long. 2 years too long.
The project is still not done.
Treva White says she's been a resident of the area for years, and before the project started, she didn't see anything wrong with the street.
But they say they will come in and put new drainage system and stuff like that. The drainage is gone. It's no drainage system now. Everything is just one big pothole. I have been in constant contact with the chief of staff, as well as the administrative assistant for District D, and I still can't get no answers.
These neighbors collectively agree they love their city. They're just begging for a solution.
Mr. Green, I would like for you to come and take a look at this and see what's going on in this neighborhood. This is your district, District D. So I think you should come around here and see what's going on in this neighborhood. This is what's going on in your neighborhood. I think that you should come around here and make sure that this gets fixed.
We all out here in Mandeville. It's a beautiful day for the dog parade, and people all having a great time. We got a number of dogs. They're hiding in the strollers, and I think the dogs are having the biggest time of the day.
Just watching all the dogs getting their dog treat, all kinds of different samples, and just seeing them being so well behaved, definitely enjoying each other. We've come out to the Mandeville Dog Parade just to have a good family fun time with my daughter and her boyfriend and all of our children and other family members, having a ton of fun out here, and great sunny weather. You cannot beat this.
All the way from Mississippi they came to the doggy parade.
It's so cool. I like the dogs that dress up and I like the parade.
We love to come and look at all the different animals, and it's a great atmosphere.
What about you?
It's fun for the whole family, and who doesn't like a good dressed up dog?
Well, we adopted her from Zeus Rescue, and she was all white, and we saw one little speck of black. And my cat's name is Butter Biscuit, so we wanted a name that would kind of fit and match with that. And we didn't want it just to be Pepper. And you know, Louisiana, we like pepper jelly, so we went with Pepper Jelly for her.
This is a celebration of the 50th year of Southern Decadent. It's a momentous year. It's a great thing to be back after a long break due to COVID. So I'm happy to be back, and as you see, the crowd is massive.
Happy Decadence!
It just amazes me because it gets bigger and crazier every year. A lot of people don't understand the history. You know, this started as a party of a group of friends who called themselves the Decadents.
People that come to our city every year, it's amazing to see everyone coming back and enjoying our day.
My birthday is tomorrow, so
I just love that everybody's here because one thing about this, more than anything, is about love. It's just about love, 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 love everybody.
This is taxpayer dollar. This is money, actual action happening. I get asked all the time, we've seen these bills pass and they come into law. When are we going to start seeing action? Well, what you see is action, and you see these resources flowing into Louisiana and creating the kind of opportunities both for resiliency, for rebuilding, for restructuring, but also creating jobs and strengthening the economy as well.
This is exactly the kind of project that the PROTECT program that we just announced, which is a $7.5 billion resiliency program, of which Louisiana will get in formula funds $134 million and potentially more in competitive dollars. And it's exactly these types of projects. And I can't think of a region of the country where probably resiliency is more urgent.
Without that infrastructure bill that passed, that the Congressman supported, we would not be in a position to build the volume of roads and elevate the roads and have the impact we're having, not just on roads, but all modes of transportation stand to benefit. Louisiana is right for all of their investments.
In the absence of having these resources, we would continue to see the kind of catastrophes and the kind of disasters that we've unfortunately had to endure. Because of these resources, because of the attention of the Department of Transportation, having both the Secretary and now the Deputy Secretary here with our DOTD Secretary all working closely together, we're seeing progress.
We see resilience as not just responding to hurricanes, but being better and building back better, but building back smarter as well. So whether it's a large rain or a hurricane or a flood issue, those dollars will come in tremendously handy, as well as pumping capacity. That's something that's essential for life here in Louisiana to protect citizens, not just in their daily lives, but in their evacuation purposes as well.
Climate change, resiliency, those are going to be some of the hot topics. And it's not a coincidence we're talking about them here in Louisiana. I think, as you heard from the Congressman and the Secretary, this is an area, look, partially through tragedy, you have become a leader, both nationally and globally, and I know there's a lot we can learn from what's happening here, and obviously really glad to be providing resources to continue the great work down here.